Hello and welcome to the first episode of fucking what's it called? Stupid fucking idiots talk about dumbass movies podcast.
There it is.
Except the dumbass part in the title is hyperbolized for comedic effect. Um,
hmm
my name is Gray, and I am here with my co-host.
Sarah Wills.
Uh, yeah. Uh, this is the first episode. Just gonna come out and say it. This is the first episode. It's gonna be scuff as hell. It's gonna be
It's gonna be a little awkward. It's gonna be a little weird. It's just how it goes.
that's how first episodes go. You know.
Yeah.
Like TV shows barely have like a peak episode as the pilot, except for maybe like Twin Peaks.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't really think that personally, but it's a good pilot, but I don't think it's one of the peaks personally.
All right.
Anyway.
Anyway, so we're I guess we should start out the first episode with some ethos. You know, um, we are both movie fans. Would be both film. We're both fans of film and that type of medium. You know. Um,
hmm Uh, Wonderful start here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we I guess this podcast started because we found those letterbox lists where it's talking about like the Criterion Challenge.
yeah.
And I wanted to do it initially uh just by myself just as a way to I don't know, explore more movies than I normally wouldn't have sought out for.
Yeah.
Um and I told Sarah about this and I assume you wanted to do it yourself, and then I was like, "Hey, we should compare our movies when we watch them." And then eventually that turned into, "Hey, we can make a podcast out of it." Um,
Yeah.
and then we
This
actually, sorry, what were you gonna say?
this has been something that's been like in the we will do this eventually list for like a year and a half now, I think.
It's been a
Because we
while.
did, like you were about to say, I'll let you go on. We did actually start on an episode before, but
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We did record an actual episode of this forever ago. I can actually check the date right now if I'm looking at my letterbox. I'm already scrolling down way farther than I thought I would. Uh, Yeah, April 2023,
okay,
around late April 2023.
I said a year and a half ago. That's not a year and a half ago.
Well, it's still a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
um yeah, and the podcast started with um us doing I guess our own lists. And then after we did that episode, we realized that we'd have to be like super vague about some of these movies if only
yeah.
one of us had seen it. And so eventually I guess we decided to just say fuck it and just do like a whole master list, just
Mm.
um, just combining our own two lists. So it's been so long that a new year has started, which means uh, new Criterion Challenge lists have been created. And so we just started to make a new one for 2024. Our list comes from Ben on Letterbox. I don't know the actual username. It just says Ben when I click on the list. But
Like it in the description or something.
um but thank you to Ben on
Thank you,
Letterbox
Dan.
for creating the Criterion challenge we're going to do for the podcast. Um uh, I feel like I need to say something else, but I'm forgetting.
What else we're gonna do, like outside of the Criterion Challenge stuff?
Yeah, I guess. I guess the general structure of the podcast is going to be we're going to talk about the movie from the Criterion Challenge that we had to watch, and then eventually we will talk about the last movie or maybe like the last like TV show that we watched before recording the podcast that wasn't the Criterion movie.
Yeah,
Um,
and if an episode is really dry, then we're probably just talking about music we've been listening to.
yeah, if you don't know us, and just like found out about us from this podcast, we're also huge music fans, huge
Hmm.
music heads. We're actually recording this uh on a new music night, and so we're
Yeah,
gonna try and kind of speed through this so we can listen to shit. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I feel like that's good introduction. If there's anything else that you want to say.
Not really. Just I'm looking forward to doing this. I hope it just I guess broadens my film knowledge. Is that the right word? Broaden,
Yeah,
expands would be fit
I
more.
think
I feel.
Broaden could also work.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that we put on like the master list that I've been meaning to get around to for probably almost 4 years now. So
Mm. Oh, I guess one thing I wanted to say, I forgot. I remember what I was gonna say. Is that we each have different strategies for picking movies.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so Sarah does what you would, I guess, we would call the normal way of doing stuff, where you just look through films that match the criteria and just like pick which one that you want to watch the most.
Mm-hmm.
I do not do it that way. I find
Ray's
all
gotta be unique.
I find shut up. I find um a number of all of the films that can match that criteria, and then I randomize it, and then I have
Mm-hmm.
to pick whichever one that the number landed on if I hadn't seen
Don't The only reason I give you so much shit for that is just because the one time you did it, you got an Akira Kurosawa film that wasn't a good one.
it.
That's the only reason. You didn't pick like Seven Samurai or Rashomon.
No, I chose I Live in Fear.
Yeah,
Um,
which is obviously one of the most beloved Kurosawa films.
yeah, I loved it. I loved it so much I gave it a 5 on Letterboxd.
Damn,
5 out of 10, by the way. I don't do
damn,
star systems. Um,
hell no.
listen, I've seen I think one other Kurosawa movie that I gave a 7. So
Dreams.
yeah, Dreams.
Yeah, we watched that together.
We did. Um,
It's a good movie.
yep.
Shout out the Martin Scorsese cameo that comes out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He plays fucking Van Gogh for some reason.
I forgot about that shit. Um,
Okay, I guess we should just go into the first movie
yeah, the first
then.
movie. Um, so
This was my pick.
the first criteria that we for the first one was we have to pick a movie from spines 351 to 450, and the movie that Sarah chose and won. We decided which movie won with the coin flip, by the way.
Mhm.
And we don't need to get into the results of that.
Things got tense. Oh,
um,
let's just say it was a little more favorable for no reason.
yeah, one of us had incredibly shitty luck.
Hmm.
I guess you'll find out as the episodes move on, and we say this was my movie.
Yeah.
Count how many times I say this was my movie as the episodes come out.
Hmm.
um,
Should I talk? Should I give the rundown since it's my movie? I guess
if you want to.
I'll try. So, the movie that I chose for this first I don't know you would the first movie. Oh no, man.
The first episode.
Yeah, the first movie I chose was Jigoku. It's from 1961, and
Criterion
I
says
need to get the direct.
1960.
Yeah, I meant. Thank you. And it's directed by Nobu. Oh boy, no. Oh my, Nobu Nagagawa. Oh boy,
Nobuo Nakagawa.
yeah. And it's about this guy named Shiro who pretty much just has the worst luck imaginable. He pretty much just cannot catch a break. He has a friend named Tamara who just constantly gets him in the worst situations possible, and to the point where, spoiler alert, he dies and he goes to hell.
Yeah, the movie's called Hell.
Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. Um. Since do you want to guess what number spine this was?
I forget.
So this is spines number 351 to 450. Do you want to guess what number spine it was?
366.
352.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Um but yeah, this movie is a way to start the podcast.
Yeah, we like went right into like surrealism.
Yeah, I went to this pretty blind, other than like some screenshots on Letterboxd. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's
yeah, me too.
it's a fun movie. Um, I guess
Really kind of crazy for the time.
yeah, for 1960, yeah, it
There were several like, just like shots and like yeah, there's just several shots throughout that I was like, damn, this is insane for the year,
oh yeah,
and especially just the use of color, especially
oh
I
yeah,
was really impressed by.
it's such a colorful movie. That's the thing I noticed as well. Just there's a lot
Yeah.
of like there's a lot of green, I would say,
Yeah.
especially in Hell.
Hmm.
Um, I guess we should say this is a spoilers. I'm gonna be a spoiler talk for
I guess so.
Jigoku. I guess I will say a timestamp when we go to the next movie. Right here.
Yeah.
Skip the 2720 to avoid spoilers. So
Wow.
yeah, especially in Hell, there's a lot of like green and like some blue. Um,
Yeah.
Everyone's like saturated, like
Hmm.
like a greenish blue. It's a really
Yeah.
interesting choice, and it's not really what you would expect Hell to be, because there's like fire and there's like some red, but there's not like a lot of
A
it.
lot of a lot of it is like really desolate.
Yeah, it's like it's very like empty.
Hmm.
There's a lot of like empty space. Um,
It's a really fascinating like representation. Jesus, it's a really fascinating portrayal of hell that I haven't really seen like any other movie do.
yeah, I mean, especially like even in the real world, there's a lot of shots, at least in the beginning before he goes to the old folks' home, where um it's just like the background is just like dark. It's just like completely
Yeah.
black, and the
Yeah.
only things in frame are just like the people. It's
Yeah.
it's a really interesting choice to do that.
Yeah. In the real world, like parts of this movie, especially, everything feels so fucking like hopeless
Yeah, there's a
and like
yeah
just
there's
desolate. Like I said, go ahead.
it's I don't want to say it's nihilistic, but it's not a hand holding movie in terms of its
Yeah.
like tone, you know.
It's pretty unforgiving,
Yeah,
I'd say.
especially in like the last like 30 minutes.
Yeah, shit just goes off the rails at like in the last 40.
Yeah. um I will say it started on such a chaotic note that when it got
Yeah.
to the old folks home, I was like really surprised on how much it slowed down.
Yeah.
I guess that's my big complaint about the movie is that a bunch of
Hmm.
the old folks home stuff isn't like super interesting to me.
Yeah,
Because when you start out a movie, especially with its opening title sequence, like that shit is crazy.
those opening credits are so crazy.
Yeah. Um, yeah, you start a movie off with that, and then you start off, and then you like see this car crash or like this like vehicular manslaughter happen, and
Yeah,
then like another car crashes, and then his girlfriend dies, and then
yeah,
for the next like 40 minutes you're just like looking at him surrounded by like old people and like kind of wanting to date like
one of the girls.
someone that looks like his dead girlfriend. And
Hmm.
it's like that stuff is like it's good, but it's like it's nowhere near as interesting or like as I guess visually striking most of the time as
Yeah,
the first like maybe like 20 30 minutes.
yeah. I would say like the first like 20 minutes and then like the last 40 minutes are like really good. And then like the kind of like the parts in the middle I like, but like I didn't really find like much deeper than just all of that was cool.
Yeah. Well, there's also that scene on the bridge which I like laughed at a lot. Um
Yeah.
there's this so they kill this guy uh Shino and what's his name?
Tamura.
Tamura. Um
Tamura. So I think that's how he says it in the movie.
um yeah, those two. Tamura is like a fucking like sociopath.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're friends. I don't know how they met. I don't know how they're staying friends. Um,
Yeah.
but he's a fucking psychopath. He literally
Yeah.
he
It's
like
just
he, he's like a he goes down this road and like hits somebody like very deliberately. He didn't like try
yeah.
to get out the way or like break or
He
anything.
had plenty of time. He had so much time to fucking move.
um And then like Shino is like, "What the fuck? We have to go back and help that guy." He's like, "No, that's your fault. You made me go down this road." like,
Wait, what?
um, and
Which,
he's a fucking like psychopath. He like shows
yeah.
up at the old folks' home and then just like starts like terrorizing everybody.
Yeah, he just wreaks havoc everywhere he goes.
um, and yeah, there's this. So they kill this guy, and then like his like what like his like sister or like somebody. It's like his sister or his girlfriend or something, and I guess like his or her mom are like
Oh
we
yeah.
have to like kill the people who killed our
Yeah.
our guy, you know. Um
Yeah. They want to get revenge on them.
yeah. And so eventually this woman confronts Shino on a bridge and like tries to kill him, and like she has him at like point blank range with a gun, and she's just like monologuing. She's evil villain monologuing,
Yeah.
and I forget what happens, and then eventually like they like struggle for the gun, and Shino like accidentally like pushes her over the bridge.
And then the body is like
Oh
just
yeah,
like a
there's this
mannequin.
amazing practical effect with a dummy body. It's
Hmm.
amazing. I love
It's
it
awesome.
so much. It made me laugh
Bro,
so hard.
it's really awesome.
Yeah, and then fucking Tamura shows up on the bridge, and I'm like, oh great, this dude. And then he gets fucking pushed off the bridge somehow.
Yeah.
like I was not expecting that at all. And then he like shows up, like he shows up before Shino goes to hell.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it's like a because he like sometimes like Shino trips out and sees like
Yeah.
Tamura everywhere. So that's probably what happened. But like it was so weird seeing like that character just die so suddenly.
Yeah, because he's pretty much like the villain of the movie to
Pretty
me.
pretty much. Yeah, I mean He's kind of like Shino's like bad conscience, you know.
Yeah.
He's the one that pushes Shino to do shit that he doesn't want to do.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Yeah. So like that stuff in the middle happens. I forget what leads. Oh yeah, it's Tamura that leads to it. I'm pretty sure. Uh, everyone, all the old people in Shiro fucking die.
yeah, they all die because they get poisoned by this
Yeah.
fish, and it's like, it's like fucking they catch the fish, and then they're like, "Isn't this like bad?" And they're like, "Well, we're not eating it," and then everyone who eats it dies.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we get to hell and things go fucking crazy.
yeah, we get the hell, and then it's just it's a crazy. There's crazy amounts of set pieces.
Yeah.
Because there's that river thing.
Yeah.
Um, I think the biggest the shot in hell that lingers out to me the most um is the is the ring of torment or something, where it's just a
Mm.
bunch of people going around in a circle just screaming. um
Yeah. It's
it's
very the hell parts of this movie are so like visual. Oh my fucking god. Visceral. There we go.
visceral. Yeah. Yeah, there's that part where
Like,
where the dude gets like chopped in half or like sliced or some shit. And I was like,
yeah,
ooh. I was
that was
like,
crazy.
ooh.
There's like this like 2 minute section where I was just like constantly cutting to like fire and people screaming. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. So many close ups of mouths too.
Yeah.
Also
And
like
like teeth being broken, I guess.
yeah. And like very like stretched frames.
Yeah, that too.
Um
Crazy. Fucking crazy.
I will say I was giggling to myself sometimes because just like the the 1960 quality of the microphone that people are screaming in makes the
Mm,
audio like very distorted sometimes.
yeah,
And it made me laugh.
I
There's
get it.
like Tom and Jerry screams sometimes, just like people just going
Yeah,
ah.
yeah. It's just
Um,
like, yeah, I don't know. It's a. What did you think of the ending? Because I was looking for reviews and I saw people like talking about the ending a lot, and I don't really know what to think of it.
is it bad that I don't really remember the ending right now? Like the
Not
exact
really.
like the
I don't.
very end of the movie, I don't remember it.
I don't either.
Oh yeah,
Truthfully.
He like there's like they like very suddenly cut back to the real world where there's just like a bunch of dead bodies, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's like close-ups of their faces, and like, well, you're supposed to think like, oh, he's gonna wake up because he rescued his baby. We did not talk about that.
We
um
did not talk about that.
um
We should talk about that.
so basically the girlfriend he had that died at the beginning of the movie was pregnant, and then I guess she gave birth in hell. um
Yeah.
uh
And then we also find out that the girl at the old people place that he was attracted to turns out to be his sister, which is wonderful.
yeah. Well, I thought she was his cousin because cuz when she first comes into the movie, she opens up the door and sees his dying mom, and she goes auntie. At least that's what my subtitles said. Um
Hmm.
so I knew they were related, so every time they were on screen I was like, ugh.
Hmm.
I watched this on the Criterion channel, and I'm pretty sure the subtitle for when she like opens the door is auntie. So,
Okay.
um
She were kind of stupid for not catching on.
well, it's like, well,
Like
they
everything,
reveal it at the end of the movie anyway if you didn't catch on to it. So,
yeah, everything else ain't his fault though, for the most part. I don't think so. Trying to Yeah, nothing. I don't. What am I saying?
Yeah. So anyway, uh, his pregnant girlfriend died at the beginning of the movie, and I guess she gave birth in hell, and then she like gave
Mhm.
away the baby, or she like put the baby like on like a float in the river,
Yeah,
and she eventually goes like you need to do this yourself. I'm dying or something. Um,
yeah.
and so he like goes to save the baby, and it's like stuck
And
on
so
this
that,
like rotating like Ferris wheel table thing, and he like climbs it, and like it like freeze frames like as he's like reaching for it, and then it suddenly cuts back to the real world, and there's a bunch of shots of like dead bodies, and then the movie I think it ends on like a close up of his face, or like one of the last shots is like a close up of his face, and as an audience member I guess you're expected to believe that he's gonna like do that like stereotypical thing where he goes like and he's like awake now and he's like alive now, but it doesn't.
yeah,
It doesn't. He's still dead.
yeah.
So
I like quickly took a look at like YouTube comments for the ending. I saw someone say they think he went to heaven, which could be true. I don't know. I don't remember that well.
I don't remember like the last like shots of the movie. Um, I don't. Mm, I don't really think. I think he's like still in hell. Um,
Yeah,
for some reason I don't know, but I believe that he's still stuck in hell.
yeah. I need to take a longer look at the ending again for sure.
Really doing our due anyway. Um,
Just you being like me right now.
you're rubbing
Look,
off
I
on me, bro.
for our listeners, I constantly like fuck up words in our calls.
This
It's
is
like
just
a.
my life. I have to hear this.
I thought you were gonna build upon that.
No, I decided to end the sentence there for some reason. Um,
I thought, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there really is to say. This movie has some good has some. I think the most exciting thing for this movie. I think the most Jesus. Oh my god, how are we doing a podcast right now?
I don't know. There's
I
a
I think I think my favorite parts of the movie are the more eccentric, crazy, visually uh, visually overwhelming moments of the movie. Um, I
there's a lot of. Oh, should I let you talk?
you go.
There's a lot of really visually striking stuff, and there's a lot of bits that throughout that I found interesting and was fascinated by. But I do think that middle part does kind of just drag and make things feel a little longer than they are, to the point where it does just kind of lessen my enjoyment just a little bit. And
I agree.
because, yeah, but as like an overall experiment experience, there's a
It's a
I do
little
think it's worth
experimental.
watching. It is. As like an overall experience, I do think it is worth checking out just for like the hell segments.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um,
I'm surprised this movie isn't like any more popular. It's pretty small. There's only like I was looking on Letterboxd and there's only like 8K members
mm.
on that thing.
Yeah, Criterion only
I would.
has a DVD for it. Like they don't even have like a Blu-ray option.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, pretty cool movie.
pretty cool movie.
I like
Yeah,
the. Um, should we give scores?
yeah. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it like a mid like a 7.5.
Oh, you're doing decimals. All right.
I feel it's only fair. I'm only doing point 0.5 at decimal, so
Okay. Well, I still give it. If we're doing point 0.5 with it, I still give it a 7.
all right. Yeah,
Um, yeah. First burp of the podcast.
let's go.
Only took 30 minutes.
Yeah.
God, we've been talking for 30 minutes. Holy shit. Maybe this podcast is actually going to be long. I was worried that these episodes were only going to be like literally 30 minutes, and we talked about the first movie
Well,
for 30 minutes.
well, the thing is like in our calls when we're by ourselves, our calls like immediately start with film discussions that go on for like 2 hours. So
Yeah, we literally every time we join call or like we start a call with each other, we talk about, "Oh, did you see this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw this." And then it's like, "Did you hear about this thing that's happening?" And we're like, "Oh yeah." And then we talk about three other things that are happening for like 2 hours.
and then we say like 20 times that we can't wait for the Bear season 3.
Dude, don't even get me started, bro. Bro, it's in July.
We
Or is
got
it
we got
June? I think it's
we got
June.
when that comes out, we gotta do an episode on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm thinking we should do an episode well, on Bear season 3, and then also we're probably going to be watching the Oscars together, so I think we should do an Oscars
Hmm.
episode.
Should we record that like an
What
Oscars reaction?
no, that's too long. The Oscars is like fucking 4 hours.
That's true.
I mean, we'll take notes. We'll talk about this later. We gotta finish the
Yeah,
first episode.
just start
um
planning midway through.
yeah. um yeah,
Excuse my cough, please.
Jigoku, good movie, check it out.
Good movie. All
um
right, go next segment
Next segment,
where we talk about our most recent watches.
most recent watches.
Who wants to start?
I have a very recent watch because I watched it today
Okay,
before work.
okay,
Actually before
okay.
class.
Saw it.
Um,
Do you want to say what movie it is?
yeah, I saw Final Destination 2. If we're talking about uh movies with some gore in it. Um, I've
I have
been
not seen that since I was a kid, which is concerning.
well, even if you've seen it as a kid, I'm sure you remember the log truck scene.
Oh yeah, classic.
Everyone does. I think the thing that people remember Final Destination 2 for is that opening like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how it goes for most Final Destination movies.
no, not really, because people remember 5 for the gymnastics scene, and that's like halfway through the movie.
I don't know, I just remember like in Final Destination always starting off on like really crazy notes.
Oh yeah, the openings are always great. I'm rewatching them after like a few years, so I don't really remember everything. But I'm showing my boyfriend them because
Hmm.
we finished watching the Saw movies um, back in September when Saw 10 came out. We binged literally all of the Saw movies in under a month, so we could see Saw 10 opening day in the theater. Um, that was a lot because there's fucking we watched 8 movies in a month
Mm,
for the same fucking series.
it's a lot.
And Saw, if you try to think about it, is a very mentally exhausting series to watch.
Oh, I imagine.
Um, and I recommended Final Destination to them because well, I mean I think Final Destination 1 and 2 came out before Saw 1. So it's like kind of the
Mm,
original like torture porn movie, except I guess it's more. I don't want to say Final Destination is more tastefully done, but there's like a lot more going on
yeah.
in the killing, I would say, than
Hmm.
Saw is.
Hmm.
Um, so I've been rewatching them after a few years, and we watched Final Destination 2 today. And I honestly think that Final Destination 2 is better than 1.
Mm,
Um, it's a lot stupider. The characters are like a lot more, I guess, like stereotypical, like character types. Um,
mm,
and some of them are like could be kind of annoying, but I had like a lot of fun with it because like
yeah.
I think like the first kill in the movie that's not the opening sequence is like some dude. Uh, I don't really want to spoil it, but the dude gets killed while listening to like an Incubus song. Um,
Mm,
and it's like a very like early 2000s thing, and I was like, okay, this is an early 2000s movie. Just have fun with how fucking corny it is, and it's incredibly corny, and I loved it. Um,
I, I apologize for my coughing throughout this episode.
I also think
I'm
that
gonna come.
I also think
Go ahead.
Final Destination Two's deaths are a lot more creative and just like look a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, there's some moments where they forget that bones exist. Um,
Hmm.
in some of them, but I don't know. I can suspend my uh,
I feel like a lot of
disbelief.
violent movies do that,
Yeah, that's true.
but yeah.
I don't know.
I need to.
I think with things with like like supernatural and like death coming to kill somebody, I think you can like suspend your disbelief in some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I just had a lot more fun with Final Destination 2 than 1.
Yeah.
Um, I think Final Destination 1 felt a little more like rigid. And
Hmm.
then Final Destination 2 is just a lot more like freeing. It's batshit insane sometimes. Like I forgot how crazy that opening sequence is.
Right. Right. Like.
I was laughing my ass off at that shit. And like my boyfriend, my boyfriend was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Um, we had a special guest star that you can't hear just joined the call. Zeke, we're recording the podcast
Yeah.
that we talked about like a year ago.
I was.
We're actually
Damn.
doing
I
it.
was hoping. I was hoping to get into spoiler talk about two of the movies I recently watched. Goddamn you, Zeke.
But yeah,
Zeke, could you deafen for maybe the next 10 minutes? He's not responding.
he's
Uh
not
oh.
responding. Oh well, I guess he's gonna get shit spoiled for him.
I'm gonna spoil the zone of interest for you.
But yeah, Zeke, I was just talking about Final Destination 2 and how it's better than 1. Any opinions on that? Zeke is also agreeing with me.
Um, I guess I should. Is there any other recent watches you want to mention?
Perfect Days is amazing. It's a great movie.
I really want to. I need to watch it.
There's not really much to talk about. It's a very comforting movie. It's very it's kind of like I don't want to say it's the opposite of life affirming because it's not negative, but it's kind of like one of
Yeah.
those movies where it's like, damn, I need to get my shit together.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, very slow. It's one of those movies where you're staring at somebody do something for like 20 minutes straight, and you kind of have to
Oh,
be
let's
okay with
go.
that. Um,
Let's go.
yeah, it's great. Um,
That sounds so good.
it's great. It's a great movie. Um, but yeah, yeah. My two most recent watches, very similar movies.
Let's see. My two recent watches. The first one that I want to just kind of have a mini quick talk on is the zone of interest.
Mm,
Because me and you did talk about that. I did do a rewatch of that.
yeah. So we both seen it
And I am,
twice.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, me and you have had like a discussion
Yeah,
on it already, but
we've
I just,
already had a lengthy discussion on the zone of interest one on one. So I mean, we don't really need to
yeah,
go into like
I just,
a bunch of like specific shit, but yeah.
I just want to mention some of what I liked about it real quick. I have not stopped thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about it, and it's definitely one of my favorites of 2023.
Oh yeah.
It needs to win Best Sound Design at the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
There are several points that are harrowing. That ending is what maybe my favorite of the year. Uh,
Maybe mine too. I not a lot of no. I think I think the last shot of Anatomy of a Fall still has me in a chokehold.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, just unbelievable film right there. Jonathan Glazer, definitely a goat
Shut
at
up.
this point. You gotta watch on His Skin Gray. You'll love it.
Oh yeah, I have Criterion Channel now too. I can watch Birth.
Mm.
It's so
That
funny
seems to be
because
a.
I watched Sexy Beast the day before the Zone of Interest, and I don't think you've seen Sexy Beast, but it's like a completely different movie.
Yeah, I would assume so because it's like 1999,
It's
something like
I think
that.
I think
2000,
it's 2000 exactly.
2000. Yeah.
Ben
So,
Ben
and I've
King
seen like
Ben
shot.
Kingsley in it is fucking incredible. He's amazing in that movie.
Gotcha. It's kind of crazy to think about that Jonathan Glazer directed the Virtual Insanity music video, ain't it? And then you see the Zone of Interest, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other movie I recently watched was High and Low, directed by Akira Kurosawa.
Mm.
It's been one I've been wanting to watch for a while. And I was saving it because the last podcast,
Yeah,
last
our
when we
last
were
our
it,
last
it was
list
yeah,
had high and low.
yeah.
Um
And then the moment that I realized that it wasn't on this one, I watched it, and it's fucking excellent. This Akira Kurosawa is really good at like putting several people in like a single frame. I noticed,
mm.
and there's a lot of these like really long takes that just like the camera work is like always moving, and it's always like interesting to look at, it's just it's so engaging. I forget how good he is, and then I watch a movie from him, and I remember why people consider him the goat. And the ending too, like really like left me like kind of amazed. Yeah,
Sick.
I can't I don't know how to talk about it further than that, but it's fucking awesome, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's very unique in his filmography. I will say that it's
Okay.
very unlike anything from him. I feel.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. So,
it's really good.
as we were talking about
I'll probably
earlier.
get I'll probably get you to watch it sometime.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because I definitely want to make you watch good Akira Kurosawa movies.
I've seen a good Akira Kurosawa movie.
More. I'm talking like the big
All
essentials.
right, bro. I guess that's it really. I think first episode we can kind of end it off there.
Yeah.
Um I guess we'll
New Booth Boys March 8th.
oh yeah, we are in a Sarah and I are part of a rap group called Boof Boys. Um if you want to I don't know if this episode I hope that yeah, Zeke who's also our a studio audience member right now is also in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I hope this episode comes out before the album does. Don't be surprised if it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, we have our group has our first album in over not yeah over 3 years. Um,
Yeah.
coming out. We made it all
If
in
we waited a
person.
little longer, yeah,
Not all. Well, we made most of it in person. Um,
yeah.
when we met for the first time, and it's fun. It's a fun album.
I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, me too.
It's it's not serious, but we do care about the core songs.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a fun time. Check it
Dude,
out, March 8th.
I agree. It's so good. I love it so
Oh my
much.
God, special
Hi.
guest KZ.
oh
Oh my
no,
God.
welcome to
Dude,
the
I saw Mean
podcast.
Girls recently. That shit sucked ass. uh,
Zeke heard us say, "All right, we're about to come to a close." He was like, "Nah."
It's midnight, bro. We
yeah.
gotta listen to music.
Bro, Schoolboy Q's new album is out right now. Oh, Jesus.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
We're
Uh,
very appreciative of it. We're gonna get the fuck out of here and listen to some music now.
yeah,
Fuck y'all, but also take care of yourselves and stay safe.
yeah. Thank you for listening. Uh, next week we will talk about another movie.
Yeah.
I don't know
Should we
about.
say it or should we wait?
Well, oh wait, we'll wait.
Okay.
What's up?
No, nothing about you.
Oh, wait, are you still
Don't
recording?
worry.
Yes, I'm still recording.
Okay, can I say something?
Sure.
Fuck 12. Fuck Dr. Phil. I
True.
hate that motherfucker.
True.
Uh, what's that water bottle company that became popular this year?
Stanley.
Yeah, fuck Stanley's. Them shits got
This is a story
microplastics
of
in
the
them.
man.
They got lead.
Henry.
Um, they got lead, and I
Henry.
also got lead in my car in the form of a gun. And yeah. You can mute me now if you want. Actually, I'm gonna mute myself so I don't.
Okay. Um.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's Zeke for y'all.
that's Zeke. I'm sure he will be a guest on a full episode soon enough.
That's gonna be our best episode.
That's the episode where we talk about Mean Girls 2. It's my favorite movie. I love.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you next time. Uh. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.